Hey guys, wanted to come on here to do a small video just to kind of update you that hubby finally got the MRI results, and so he is free from infection in the bone, so that's good. I'm super excited about that because that was weighing over my head. I went ahead and updated it early this morning by text, but I thought I would go ahead and make a video either way. So I just got here to the hospital. I brought the bag today, the wound care bag, and I brought a little bit of snacks for me. And so they started him on another antibiotic. So yeah, the doctor did come by and told him that kind of wanted to still do the incision and drainage, and hubby didn't want to do it. And well, then I confirmed it, but I let him make that decision. But he kind of wants to go home already, but I'm kind of like trying to push a little bit for him to stay a little bit longer, just because the foot is still a little bit swollen, well, from what I saw yesterday. So right now I'm going to get there and try to do the treatment again and see how the foot is looking. I'm super hopeful. I prayed a lot last night and I prayed this morning. And so I asked God to just give me good news today and for it to be a good day. And so I'm hopeful. So I'm going to go in there and check his foot and see if some of the swelling has gone down. He did say that some of the redness went away, and I'm thinking he's talking about just the top of the foot, because he can't see the bottom of his foot. So yeah, I'm going to go check it. The leg is not red or hot anymore, because he was getting he had a little bit of redness like 2 days ago on his leg, and it was feeling quite hot. So that has gone away. The only thing is the doctor didn't want him to be on his foot, but so he's been kind of massaging his leg and his foot while he's in bed and stuff. So that's good. I know the antibiotics are working. The sugars have been in the 180s. Hopefully today they're a little bit less than that. Hopefully the blood sugar is less. And yeah, so I think things are going good, but I'm still going to go up right now and see how everything is going. But I am spending a little bit more time at home with the kids just to make sure that they're okay. And yeah, just kind of trying to balance everything out. And so, yeah. And, I went ahead and got a little bit done up, trying to balance everything. I'm trying to fix myself. I'm trying to take care of my husband. I'm trying to take care of my kids, and, making sure that everything's fine at home, and checking in with family members, because sometimes they're like messaging me and asking me how he's doing and stuff. So yeah, I think that's it, but I was able to manage everything today, this morning, but I just have a huge sense of relief with the results from the MRI. My heart just kind of it's just like calmer now. I think things are better. I stayed up till almost 1 o'clock yesterday trying to listen to some church talks and from the BYU channel. And I was also listening to, like I said, that BTN show on YouTube from all the pastors and preachers. And I've been getting a lot of different scriptures and a lot of different talks, and they were just all super, helpful. And I know that the Lord is aware of what I'm going through, because I just feel like he's walking with me. I feel like, he's giving me the exact messages for the time that I need it. And so I was kind of talking to my sister this morning and telling her how I felt and some of the things that have been going on while here at the hospital. And it just kind of helps to have that support system, and like with my mom and like my sister, and my brother coming over to see him. my sister-in-law calling me and making sure, if I needed anything, just people reaching out and just making sure that we're okay and stuff. So I'm super grateful for that. I just want to tell you a few things that I learned last night. So I was watching the BYU channel and I was listening to the son of Elder Bednard. And he was giving a talk about trusting the Lord even when like things are not going the way you would want them, right? And he was crying a lot because it had to do with something in his life that was going on. I believe he was going to BYU or he accepted a position or something at BYU. And he was talking to his wife, and his wife told him that she had a prompting that they should try for another child. She ended up getting pregnant. She ended up having a child, and the child got diagnosed with an illness, and it's something that they have to deal with daily, and it's something that is super difficult. And he was worried for his child and for the things that, he was having to endure and stuff. And so he constantly went into prayer and asked God, like, what about my son? And so God answered him in a way like, he's my son too. And so that just kind of reminded me that, like here I am at the hospital. And while I want God to heal my husband and for him to hear me, I understand that, it's his son too. And I'm sure he's very aware of him. And when you put things into words like that, it makes a little bit more sense. I know that he's aware of Rudy. And like I said, he's aware of me too. And he's aware of my kids. And I know that we're going to get through this. And he's aware because he has been sending me so much help. Like I'm in constant prayer with him, and I'm constantly just asking him to teach me more and to allow me to feel him in my life and to help me make the right decisions. And so that was one of the talks that really hit me. God hasn't healed his son, but he understands that might be the journey that his son is living and is going to have to live. And, perfection doesn't come here. It comes up in heaven. And so we need to keep that in mind. And so when they say that the Savior endured a lot of pain, he just reminded me, like, what are we willing to endure for him? So, yeah, it doesn't take the pain away, and it doesn't take our circumstances away, but it just kind of reminds us that, what are we willing to walk for him? What are we willing to, I don't want to cry because I did my makeup, but what are we willing to do for him? And so, yeah. The other thing I learned from another talk was about simplifying our life. And so I'll give you another example, another story. I was listening to the speaker, and he said that President Oaks from our church, like the prophet from our church, he had asked for a couple to come and speak to him. He wanted them to become mission presidents for our church. And so I guess they spoke about it, and the husband felt overwhelmed, and I guess they had already come to agreement that it wouldn't be ideal because they had a child, not like a child, but like a daughter that was still living at home. And so they found it to be a little bit hard of a decision, but President Oaks was very kind to talk to them comfort them, remind them that it was a calling that was being called, from God. And he saw that his wife took the calling really quickly, and he was like, we talked about this. I thought we talked about this. And so he said that President Oaks just kind of chuckled and kind of laughed a little bit. And so anyway, he saw the concern that they had for the daughter, and so he spoke to the daughter, and she wept. And anyway, they ended up taking the calling, and he gave such a great message. I'll look for them and I'll try to post them on my timeline so you guys can hear them. But it was so beautiful to hear him speak and remind us to simplify our lives and to worry about more eternal things than worry about, things that are going to stay behind, because we don't take anything with us besides our spiritual experiences, the things that we do for others, the things that, we learned here. And so it just reminded me that, get the unnecessary things out of your life, like pruning, right? You got to prune. And he gave an example about how a tree grows and how much care it needs. And sometimes you have to remove unnecessary branches and things. And so it just kind of reminded me that to kind of remove things that are not very important. And yeah, sometimes we put a lot of effort into things that just don't bear fruit. And I know for a fact that I've spent quite a bit of time doing that. In other things, like I think, especially with social media, I think that we can spend a lot of time on social media and scroll endlessly. And I have these talks with my kids, but I myself have caught myself at times doing that. And though I try to help a lot of people online, I have learned to manage my time better. And I've learned to share things, but not endlessly scroll. Not that I don't care to see other people's things, I do. But I feel that my time with him is more sacred now. I think I've kind of learned that. And it's easy to fall into bad habits, and I'm not saying that I won't fall into it again, because it's quite easy. Even my daughter says the same thing. She's like, Mom, sometimes I'm just like endlessly scrolling on thing. I'm like, Princess, there's so many things you can do. You can do your art, you can do your crocheting, you can, style your clothes. You can, if you really want to do something else, you'll find something. And back in the day, with my parents, you weren't allowed to say you were bored, because if not, you were going to go outside and cut the yard, or not cut the yard, but cut the yard, or go pluck out weeds, or, you don't ever tell parents that you're bored, because they'll find for something for you to do. And I just think that, but back then we didn't even have a lot of like tools, like, a phone, at our fingertips. We barely had the internet, right? We had dial tone, and barely towards like when I was already like in my, I want to say like 20s. So these kids have so much at their fingertips, and it's not to blame them, because we have it too. And so when we are trying to teach them to not do those things, we also need to put the example. And so I just have been catching myself a lot on that. And yeah, I do come on here and I update you guys, and I'm trying to make videos, and I'm still trying to work for the Lord. There's so many people who don't take the time to post and share their testimony or share scriptures, or, and I'm not trying to compare. I know that a lot of people are super busy, and they just don't have the time to do it. And so there's people like me that make the time, and I have some time, and I'm grateful that I have time to do it. And I feel that, God has kind of called me to do it. And so I do it, and I do it with my heart. And I hope that it helps other people, but I hope not to kind of fall back into it and stuff. I kind of hope that whatever I do share on Facebook is more like of a helpful message, from time to time, I want to do things for myself too, though, because I'm not on here just, you know, to not enjoy my life either, but I do want to do things to help others and, you know, and to share my testimony mostly and stuff. And so I hope that it serves, you know, others. And yeah, so that was another thing that I learned yesterday. This morning, I was actually, when I opened up my Gospel Library app, well, first of all, I did like a huge prayer this morning, like the longest prayer of life. I asked for every single one of my family members individually and for the struggles that they have, because there's so many things going on. And I was able to see very clearly how they're all struggling with something or somehow. And so I prayed for them individually so that I know that God is aware of them. And I know He is aware of them, but I just specifically asked for them to be comforted and helped in certain areas and things like that, because the world is in commotion, and there's so many things going on. And so it doesn't hurt to like say a prayer for others and, you know, check up on them and just kind of see if they're okay and stuff, like, because I appreciate it when people do it for me too. And so I want to return that too. So yeah, this morning I was listening to Joyce Ministry. She's one that my dad used to watch, and I've gotten very close to seeing a lot of her videos, and kind of close to, not close to her because she doesn't even know me, but close to her in the sense that she gives such great messages. And so she kind of reminded me about, sometimes we want to blame other people for things. And sometimes we fail to see that that we're also the ones at fault. We can't expect other people to make us happy. Like, I can't expect my husband to make me happy. I can't expect my kids to make me happy. I have to choose to be happy. No matter what is going on in front of me, I have the choice. And I was giving my little sister that example this morning. When I was here at the hospital, my husband looked so terrible. I think the Lord was preparing me with all those weeks prior, with all the scripture study I was doing, because my husband looked terrible. He looked super, super bad. And I was seeing him, and while he was trying to grab my hand and he kept apologizing to me and he wanted comfort, I had made myself so firm and so hard, not towards him, like I'm angry because we're here again. No, kind of like a protective shell, and I didn't want to break. And so I was telling my sister, I don't know why I do this, but then I told her, no, I do know why I do this. I do this to protect myself. I do it so that I don't break. I want to be strong. And so I do that. And I was telling my husband, I was explaining to him this morning, I'm like, I'm sorry for sometimes that I get so, like, you might think I'm being hard, but I'm not being hard. It's a protective thing that I do. And so anyway, she was saying that, and my husband was super sweet and just kind of said, I understand, babe, you know? And I'm like, it's hard because, like, I walk these halls, I'm going through this again. It reminds me of my dad's, like, PTSD. It's like, you know, and it's difficult. And I feel like I'm reliving grief, and I've been trying to get out of that for a long time. And so it is difficult to get back up and be strong and see everything that's going on in front of you and not break. And so she was talking about that sometimes we want to do the blame game, like, this person didn't do this, or this person said this to me, or this, or whatever. And sometimes it's our fault because we are wanting other people to accept us. And sometimes we are not used to rejection, and rejection can feel like grief. And as much as you try to be the best person, the kindest person, or whatever, sometimes people just don't like you, period. And it doesn't matter what you do, what you're going through. I mean, they can see you on your deathbed and they'll still criticize what you're doing or why you're there. And this happened to you because you didn't do this or you didn't do that. It's so easy to point fingers and so easy to do that. right? So I kind of am trying to learn that, to not put blame on others and try to work on myself to the point where I don't care what other people say. They can think what they want. They can say what they want. They can feel what they want. It doesn't matter to me. I care about what God thinks about me. He knows my journey. He knows what I've walked through, how much I've walked, and he knows that I'm still trying and I'm still getting up every day and I'm still doing the best I can. So when others feel the need to say, oh, you let yourself go, or, you know, dye your hair or whatever, right? Maybe I want to be different. Maybe I like my hair this way. This is how I want to be. I've never liked to be like anybody else. I like to be who I am. I like to be different. I like to stand out. I think that I'm very beautiful. Maybe at the time that you saw me, I wasn't at my best. Maybe I was really busy trying to, you know, make sure my husband was okay, my kids were okay. Maybe I didn't look my best, but everybody else around me was good. You know, I've been married for almost 20 years. I've been married for 19 years with my husband, and, you know, dated him for 4 years, and I'm still with him. I think I'm doing something right. And he's gotten sick a lot, and I've helped him heal all those times, and he is still good, you know, and with God's help, obviously, right? But it's very hurtful when people want to tell you how to do the job you've been doing for a long time. Not to say that, you know, you don't appreciate advice. That's great. You know, it's just about how you say things, the tone you use, the way you say it. So yeah, I'm learning to try my best to not allow people to interfere with my happiness. And so if I have to remove people, and that might be family members, if I have to remove myself, because I give a lot of grace, I'll give you many chances. And my little sister sometimes tells me, you're too nice, you're too nice, you're too nice. I'm like, maybe that's the problem. You know, I've always been a people pleaser. I've always been a people pleaser, so, you know, maybe that's the reason, you know. But anyway, I'm already getting calls. Maybe that's the reason for me to, like, my brother calling. Maybe that's my cue to leave it there. But anyway, don't worry about making other people. No, don't worry. Don't care about other people's opinions. You have to make yourself happy. Okay, I'll talk to you guys soon. Sorry, guys. Bye. You know what? It didn't end. Sorry. Psych. Anyway, it was my brother calling. He was just checking up to see if my husband is still in the hospital. I told him yes. I'm like, I'll call you back in a little bit because I'm trying to get the bags down. And so I'm not lying. I have my bags here. But I didn't want to cut you guys off like that. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that there. She just kind of taught me that I can't expect other people to make me happy. I have to make myself happy. So yeah, I learned that this morning. That's what I was listening to on the way over here. So that's why you hear me a little bit more pumped. So yeah. And the other thing I was going to just share was that when I opened up my gospel library, it took me to Revelations, and it started, you know, Revelations, I believe 22. And I posted it on my timeline. So if you want to go read that, that's there. Just kind of a reminder. And yeah, I wrote on my journal again, and I am going to try to finish those pages, and then I'll go ahead and post them on my timeline. So I don't know if you guys even look at them or not. I'm just sharing them at the end of the day for me. I don't always do things for others. I do a lot of the things for myself. just to kind of keep me on check and remind myself and stuff. But if it's helping other people along the way, then great. So yeah, those are a lot of the things that I learned yesterday. I will try to find all the videos that I saw, and maybe it'll help somebody. There were quite a bit of them, so hopefully, you guys enjoy them, and maybe they help you in some way or somehow. They helped me. They were very strong and powerful messages, and I just think that we need to help each other out, because there's a lot of things going on, and a lot of people, if you're not spiritually in tune, I feel like Satan doesn't really bother people who are already doing a lot of bad stuff. He will come to the people who are trying to be good, and so he hits really, really hard. And I can tell you that from experience, because you guys know that I've been posting a lot of scriptures and reading a lot and trying to help myself get back up. But apparently he doesn't want me to get back up. He's feeling a little threatened in some way or somehow. I'm not sure why, but I'm sure he does know why. So, but at the end of the day, God is bigger and greater. And so that's what keeps me going. And that's what I keep in my mind. And I know the promises that I have. And so I'm just going to keep on trying. And I know that wherever I feel weak, I know that God will step in for me. And so that is the message that I have for you for today. I hope that it helps you in some way or somehow. And if it doesn't, this is the video I have, and probably just got the update of my husband. But I just like to share a little bit extra, kind of like when I used to do my seminary ones, or I kind of do little updates here and there for you. Yeah. Thank you for taking the time to pray for my husband. I appreciate it so much, and praying for my family. And yeah, keep praying. I appreciate it. I know he wants to go home, but I don't feel like right this second it's time. But I haven't gone up there to see the wound. Maybe I'll be surprised. I did say a very specific prayer this morning, and maybe I will see a completely different foot. Maybe, he can go home, and then maybe just come for antibiotics, or maybe we can just do the antibiotics at home and he can have a little bit more rest. But I'm just so grateful that, he has a job that, apparently cares for him, because they took the time to send him a fruit basket, I don't know what his plans are after this, if it's just healing and going back to work, or what his plans are. I do not know. That is totally up to him, what he decides to do. But I am super, super, super grateful for them waiting patiently, and they are a little bit more flexible with him. But yeah, there's no FMLA, there's not a lot of benefits at his job. And so yeah, he used to have the Ambetter insurance. We were paying for it, but apparently we couldn't do it anymore, and it got cut off back in January. And so yeah, I still need to figure that out, how I'm going to do that part. But I'm just still hoping that a charity or a program, I asked them if the indigent program was still around. They said no. I don't know. We'll see what kind of programs they have, or what we end up doing. But I just continue to pray and ask God to help me through that. He knows our needs. And I'm just grateful that he kind of just kind of let me feel that peace with that MRI result, and just, gave me a really long lecture last night and then this morning. And so that's why I said I want to start with God first every day. And I'm hoping to just keep that and continue that, and not forget to do it, because it does definitely make a difference. It helps me to feel more in tune, more powerful, more brave, and a lot more strength. And yesterday when I was in the shower, I kind of just thought, I was like, I need to apologize. I need to apologize to my husband for sometimes becoming very hard. Sometimes I have a runaway spirit sometimes. How is it? How my cuñado says it? I think it's, he calls it sometimes like, well, in the past, I think he would say something cobarde, like cuerpo cobarde. I don't remember. He said something like that, like, you know, we're sometimes weak. We're sometimes weak in the flesh, right? And so we definitely need our spiritual side to step in, because sometimes we are weak. And I was feeling pretty strong the first 2 days, and I had a weak moment, and then it was really hard to get back up. And I feel like I'm back up, and I have progressed for sure, because I was able to apologize. It's easier to apologize now. Before, no me sacabas antes, like back in the day, you know, I was, you know, different. In my younger years, it was kind of hard to apologize. That's why my husband would always say, eres bien Rodriguez. Cuando se te suben. Yeah. You know, but now, like, I apologize more frequently. I think he sometimes fails to apologize. But he knows when he's, like, in situations like this, he's constantly saying he's sorry. But, yeah, I think that's what makes a marriage. Constantly trying to apologize, to be more mindful of each other, to be more, to sacrifice a little bit more, to be more understanding. And I think that that's why a lot of people maybe sometimes, you know, say things, or they want to like see us down, because sometimes people envy, right? They envy the beauty in our relationship, that we have always been super united, and, you know, we love each other. And, you know, I feel like sometimes people that are not happy don't want to see other people happy, and it shouldn't be like that, but that's how it is. I actually felt that the other day. I kind of scrolled a little bit on Facebook, and I kind of saw other people enjoying life while I was stuck in the hospital with all this mess. And so, yeah, it's very easy for you to, I mean, I didn't hate them, but I didn't want to see it, because I was like, here I am dealing with all this, and other people are like having fun. So yeah, it's really hard. Social media is really hard, because you have to see the whole world, and comparison, and that can rob your peace. So best thing is do the job you were called to do. Stay close to God. Mind your own business. Remember that you make yourself happy, and simplify your life, and only surround yourself with people who genuinely do love you and actually care about you, and are consistent, and are not just, you know, stirring up trouble. And so, you know, but we do have to have grace, because God calls us to things that are higher. I have to step beside my natural self and dig deep for for holier ways. And hopefully the Lord steps in. But yeah, I played a lot of music last night, and I had like the music blasting and kind of disconnected a little bit, because I felt like I was going to go a little, you know, sometimes you have to disconnect, and sometimes music helps, and sometimes you need a little help. And so I asked God for help, and I know He'll make all the things that are wrong right. And so if you come for me and you want to be mean to me and you want to hate me, well, just know that I serve a really big and great God. And I'm not going to do anything to you. Just know that I have a big God by my side, and the tables do turn at times, or He allows you to see that you are wrong. And I will leave it to Him, because I'm done crying, and I'm done feeling like, oh, like I'm going to get you back. Like one of my friends told me, the 956 side or the Chola side, whatever. I thought that was hilarious. Yeah, that could definitely come out, but you know, I'm not trying to walk those kind of steps. I'm trying to be better. So be grateful that I am in tune with God and you're not having to hear that. Y como dice mi amigo, cuenta el chisme completo. But it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to do that because you're trying to walk a higher and holier way. So, mejor hay que se quede entre yo y Dios. For it to stay between me and God. Let him handle it. It's okay. I know who I am. He knows who I am. He knows how much I've served my husband and how much I love him, and it is what it is. Ay, que digan lo que quieran. Anyway, now I'm gonna go because it's already it's hot out here. It's hot. So anyway, it's time to go. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.